Hello, everyone. It's time again for another episode of Me and Rosie. I don't get much opportunity to speak heart to heart alone with Doris Spuke all that often, once in a while. Just the other day, it was late morning. Rosie was going to take a trip into Wheeling. She was going to kind of prospect. She'd brought these huge binoculars and she was going to watch the houses of people she knew to belong to the Wheeling Symphonic Society. She's observing, she's learning violin from Timmy Klondike, that brilliant, talented, handsome violin teacher and guest performer with the symphony. Guest performer with the symphony. Rosie was determined to become a full member of the Wheeling, West Virginia Symphonic Society. And she was studying in earnest hard on the violin. And she was observing members of the society through a pair of binoculars the size of 2 torpedoes in the front seat of her hatchback, about a mile away from their houses, from a vantage point. Thank God for hills. How little we would know if everything was on an even keel. The hills are steep. Overlooks are a great advantage for people like Rosie and myself, and Doris at times. Well, all of us, we all find ourselves at times driving a miserable, rusting hatchback to the peak of a very steep hill to watch other people through huge binoculars. I'll be talking about why. I mean, the reason I said that. Well, Rosie does it. That's one reason. Doris does it. I've done it, but for differing reasons. And Rosie is studying members of the Wheeling, West Virginia Symphonic Society. She wants to know what type of gardening projects they do, what they wear, who they might be speaking to, what their license numbers are in their vehicles. If she could find their phone numbers with those binoculars, she will do so. Rosie really is determined to improve herself. She wants to move up. She's desperate. Her family, she came from a coal mining family, generations of them, and was more desperate, more statistically, organically, chemically, she was determined to reach upper middle class or better. She needed social mobility. That's why she studied so hard and worked so hard every day, practicing on that $200 Stradivarius violin that she and I pooled resources to buy for her, and upon which Timmy Klondike assured us it's genuine, you know. He looked in one of the F-holes and nodded his head, and yep, he said, that's a Stradivarius, all right. We got it at this pawn shop. They never lie. Timmy's a friend of the owners. He's a wonderful person. He owns this pawn shop on East Ohio Street. We love him. Timmy knows them personally and sometimes helps his students. He helps his students get an extra good deal on like a Stradivarius, a real Stradivarius. Sometimes that guy in the pawn shop, he'll go as low as $215, you know, if there's no dust on it. You know what I'm saying? We got a deal because there's a couple scratches on the one I gave Rosie. She's fine. She's playing real good on that Stradivarius. They say it's the wood. It's the finish they put on the wood. It's not the wood they made it out of. It's the finish they painted on that. I think they painted it red. That was an excellent color, and it brings out the sound better in that color and that type of wood finish. I mean, maybe it's Rust-Oleum, but Rosie's doing very well in that regard. There was something we needed to talk about. It's what Doris was telling me. See, I'm never alone with Doris because usually Rosie is there and, you know, whatever. But Rosie was studying people in Wheeling. So she was out, and Doris took a moment. She very rarely goes heart to heart with me, I can tell you. I don't think she likes men all that much. Anyhow, but this time she just wanted to open her heart to me and tell me that, she said, Bruce, did you know that Timmy Klondike is gay? And I said, well, Doris, no, I never thought of him as a gay man, and it doesn't bother me. I'm in no way shocked or upset. And Doris said, that's good. I'm glad to hear you're not upset that Timmy's a homosexual. And then I said, Doris, why did Rosie tell you that Timmy's a homosexual? It's no concern of mine. And Doris said, well, I don't feel one way or the other about it either, Bruce. But here's what happened. Rosie put the make on him. She let go. She exposed herself. She tried to get Timmy Klondike to have sex with her. She tried to seduce Timmy Klondike. He kept her at arm's length and just blurted out that he's gay. In fact, it was worse than that. He lost control of himself, started crying, and admitted he can't stand women. He just likes teaching violin. Like he loves teaching violin to women, men, animals. If circus animals could play a fiddle, he'd love to teach male or female gorillas equally the violin, but sexually he hates women. And he's fine. There's no problem teaching Rosie violin. Her standing as a student is just fine. But her plan, Rosie wanted to fuck Timmy Klondike to extort him and force him to help her become a member of the Symphonic Society. We talked about that before. I had no problem with that plan. I had nothing against Timmy before and after learning he was gay. I guess everything's I'm a humanist. I believe in everything as a learning experience, and I learned something. You know, there's going to be more to talk about rather soon. There's things that haven't happened yet that, well, maybe the next installment, like the next installment of Me and Rosie, will be whatever happens next, because this is kind of happening. I'm talking about this stuff as it happens. Anyway, things get like this here in where we're at, on a dirt road. Sometimes people have to accept the fact that it may be more difficult for Rosie to join the Symphonic Society than she had hoped. This may be an opportunity to get Rosie into the society, if only. Well, Timmy's the only contact we have. It's anywhere close to a member of the society, and he's gay. I can't imagine what could be done. Now that cat's out of the bag, I just can't think of one goddamn thing I could do that might make things work out better. Rosie is my common-law wife, you know. So anyway, I know what Doris is thinking. Doris is a very, very, she has a high forehead. She's a very tall woman with a long face, hard, a little bit lined, very attractive, very handsome woman. She hates men. Timmy Klondike despises. No, he doesn't hate women. He just finds them sexually repugnant. He does not hate women. He finds women sexually repugnant. I like pussy. Let's see. I'd like to talk about anything relevant to the story. It's happening. I'm living this life, and I'm talking about it as it happens with history. History. Once at all, I talk about, what caused this to happen. Sometimes one has to just shoot up and talk about what happens next. So that's pretty much what's going to happen on the next episode of Me and Rosie. Thanks for listening.